Now close your Gradle files. Now here we will use the coordinator layout. We will use height match parent and its width is also match parent. We will use some properties of this old layout. For example, its context is main activity file. We will add these 3 lines over here. Thereafter, remove your old parent layout, constant layout. We are not using constant layout for this activity underscore main. Thereafter, we will specify ID for our coordinator layout. We will call this recycler view container. So this requires @+ ID / appended to it, prepended to it, not appended to it. Then we will add our bottom app bar inside our coordinator layout. So when you see app bar's bottom in its implementation, as you can see bottom bar examples, just copy this one and paste it over here. We will use ID bottom app bar, its width match parent. We will use its height, attribute action bar size. We will not use menu. We will not use navigation icon. So we will use Android layout gravity bottom. So the default size is 56 dp. We do not want that 56 dp. So we will currently stick with 56 dp word, but we will calibrate that value later on in this project. We will not use this theme. Just remove its closing tag. Inside this bottom app bar, we will use linear layout. We will use its width match parent, and height is also match parent. So its parent is this bottom app bar and it has height action bar size means 56 dp. So we have a linear layout of height match parent which is 56 dp. We use dp for values other than text sizes. For text sizes we use sp values. So when we use linear layout, we need to specify its orientation. So there are 2 orientations, vertical and horizontal. This time we want horizontal linear layout. And there is a special property of linear layout, that is weight sum. So here we specify the total weight of views in its parent linear layout tag. So I am specifying 5 over here. So it accepts float values. So we will add image button inside our linear layout. We will specify its layout width 0 dp and its layout height will be match parent. We will use layout weight 1. We need to specify source for our image button. So for that we will create a new vector asset. So when you create a new vector asset, your drawable resource file gets added in this drawable folder. You can right click directly over to this drawable folder or your app, then new and vector asset. Select clip art, click on this clip art, it will load icons. Search theme over here, color lanes. We will use this as our theme palette section button and select its round version. Click on OK. Rename it to themes underscore background. Use 26dp as its size and click on finish. So when you click on finish button, your themes underscore background.xml drawable resource file gets added inside your drawable directory, inside our resource directory. As you can see in this left pane, there is resource directory present over here and drawable directory present over here. So it gets added over here, themes underscore background. So when we add a new file, there is one dialog that pops up and it asks us that we want to add that file to Git or not. So we do not want this behavior, hence I'm using don't ask again and closing this dialog. At the end of each section, we are pushing our commits to our GitHub repository. So there is not any need to add a specific files each and every time when it's get added inside our project. So this is our drawable resource file. The advantage behind using drawable resource files is that when you enlarge them on larger devices, they are not blurred. So we will use Android source. Themes background. You can see preview over here. Need to specify content description. And we will create a new drawable resource file. So new drawable resource file, unbounded light underscore ripple. Use ripple over here. Just keep this as it is. Specify Android color, required theme. Currently we will use black color for our ripple effect and we will specify its radius 34 dp. And thereafter we will use that unbounded light ripple as background for our image button. So we have one warning. Hard-coded string themes should use @string resource. So this warning tells us that we should have a strings resource defined for our content description. So for that we will use extract string resource So we will specify resource name themes, and we will use resource value themes. So it gets added in values folder strings.xml file. So as you can see, we are using @string /themes. So our string file contains themes which we are using over here. So we use these resources inside our projects. They have several different benefits. The one benefit of them is we can translate those string resources later on in translations editor, and we can create a multilingual app. So we will specify its ID, themes ID. Just copy this button one more time. We will add one more vector asset. We'll specify name clear records, and we will use 2060p as its width and height. We'll specify its ID as clear records IB. We will use clear records as its source. We'll specify clear records over here as a content description, and we will extract its string resource. Just copy this image button one more time. Now we will create incognito image button. We will add one more vector asset. Remember, those vector assets are licensed under Apache license version 2.0. Later on we will see how we can attribute those libraries, third-party libraries, and these assets inside our project about section. Currently just use them. So we'll use this logo for our incognito image button. Incognito underscore connectivity. You can also specify opacity levels. As you can see, we are keeping this to 100%. So I did one mistake. I never added last two resources as rounded versions. So I'm deleting clear records and incognito connectivity. Delete anyway. And I'm re-adding them inside my project. It's round version. So now we are using rounded versions for our vector assets. We'll specify go incognito as content description, and we will extract its string resource. So just copy and paste this image button one more time. Create a new vector asset. So we will use this more vert icon. For our menu, so more underscore icon. So we'll specify its ID as main menu IB. We'll use menu as content description over here. So when you see blueprint, as you can see, we have those 4 buttons and one empty space, and there is some default left space available. So for removing that default left space, we need to specify 2 properties inside our bottom app bar tag. One is app content insert start. We'll specify 0 dp, and the another is app content insert start with navigation, and we will specify this one to 0 dp. So as you can see, our left space is gone. Now we want a floating action button at the center of this bottom app bar. So after the closing tag of your bottom app bar, so just copy this tag, paste over here, specify its ID as have add. We will use wrap content as its layout, width and height. Then this is the most important thing, we need to specify anchor for this floating action button. We need to specify ID of the anchor actually. So we are specifying bottom app bar over here. So this bottom app bar is anchor for our floating action button. This is very important because animations depends upon this anchor. Now we need to specify the source for our floating action button. So we'll create a new vector asset, add round version, we'll specify that add new tab main as source for our floating action button, and it requires content description So when you switch to design, as you can see, we have this floating action button present, and our incognito connectivity image button is overlapping this floating action button. So to fix this, after clear records image button, we need to add a dummy empty transparent view inside our layout file. So view, it has layout width 0 dp and height match parent, and its layout weight will be 1, and its background is transparent. As you can see, we have a dummy transparent view present below that floating action button. So before moving towards next parts in this section, first thing we will do is we will create a themes module for our project, so that we can use themes inside our layout files pretty easily. Hence, from the next video, we are covering how we can create themes for our Android project. But before that, there is one more property called a fab alignment mode or bottom up bar, and it can take two values, center and end. When you specify end, as you can see, our floating action button goes to the end of the bottom up bar. So default is center. I am keeping center. So we will run our project in our emulator. So as you can see, our bottom up bar, our floating action button and our image buttons are present, and we have ripple effect. So that's it for this video. I will meet you in next video.